Hey, what's up guys? Hope y'all are doing good. I'm doing well. In this video, I'm going to show you guys the top 5 covered call ETFs that I think can improve your portfolio over long term. I'll show you a straight comparison comparing each of them in front of SPY, and then I'll also walk you through my portfolio and how's it doing over and how it has done over the past few days. So if you're interested in all of that, hey, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and let's jump right into the video. So first thing first, I'll show you guys today is a good day, a green day in the market. I'm up over $2,000 for the day. Currently almost hitting 190K in this portfolio. I do have Roth IRA and 401k accounts. Those are separate and not shown here. But this is my taxable brokerage account, and in this I hold ETF like QQQ, SPY, SCHD, but I also have some leverage ETFs like SOXL, TQQ, and SPXL. So this portfolio is doing pretty well today, but the topic for this video that I chose was to compare 5 top ETFs that are out there for investing in 2025. So if you noticed here, first thing first, XYLD, which is the one of the very big ETF compared with all of these with the market cap, is not here. And the sole reason for that is the returns of XYLD are so bad that I didn't want to include it in here because these are all similar kind of ETFs, although some have different strategy and some are focusing on dividends. The other are focusing on price appreciation as well. So we'll dive deep in all of these, but for now, I just wanted to make sure that you are aware why I didn't include XYLD here. So first thing first, if you see in the middle of the screen, SPY, I'm comparing S&P 500 returns over the time period then all these 5 ETFs were around. And then the first one is from NEOS, S&P 500 high income ETF. The other one is JP Morgan equity premium income ETF, and ProShares, Roundhead, and Tap Alpha SPY growth and daily income ETF. The strategies, if you see on the right, these two ETFs provide 0 DTE covered calls, and that is why they are here on the right side. Whereas iSpy, JEPI, and SPYI, all of these do some covered call, some on the index and some on the equity linked notes or ELNs. If you are interested in learning more about those, you can watch my video on JEPI on my channel. But others are basically tracking the index over long period of time. So they are selling options and covered calls over 1 month period or some period around that. So not 0 DTE like XDTE and T-SPY. So what's happening here is you see the total return. I wanted to show you total return. Total return is important because it gives you an idea over long period how are your investments going to look like if you reinvest the dividends. One also important thing to notice here is the AUM, asset under management. And if you look at this, JP Morgan's JEPI has been around for a while, since 2020. So it is the oldest among all these covered ETFs, outside of SPY, of course. SPY is an index ETF, but it JEPI has over $37.8 billion in asset under management. This is the OG of covered calls ETFs, and it has been around for almost 5 years. So you can basically trust the returns over 5 years period that you have seen. You can project with better accuracy for the near future. The second one is SPYI. NEOS has quite a few funds, but their SPYI and QQQI are the top. Then we have SPYI NEOS with 2.7 billion assets under management, and it is also a great fund, given that it's been around only for less than 3 years, and it has almost $3 billion asset under management. This is one of the nicest funds by NEOS, because I don't like their QQQY and the other funds that they have. And then we have iSpy, XDTE, and TSpy respectively. The total return that you see here shows you a clear picture at the end of this time period. And again, the time period is between August 15th, 2024 to January 17th, 2025. And the reason being, T-Spy was the latest one to be released, and it's only been 154 days. The returns that you see here for T-Spy have not been tested over 1 year period, which I called an infancy period. Which I call infancy period. Basically, it's any ETF that has not been around over a year is a hard one for me to invest. But nevertheless, I wanted to include it because this is one of the great strategies out there, and it has a direct competition with XDTE. So, looking at this graph, as you see, the return that you see here, JEPI is lagging behind all of the other ETFs. But one thing you notice here, when the market was going down, JEPI hold cool, and JEPI was returning the highest at that time. It was in positive, but it pretty much goes sideways in a not so much volatile market. But all the other ETFs were lagging behind it, and then they started outperforming it, and pretty much all of them have returned 6.9 to 7.8% returned, and in between these. The total return for XCTE is very high, is the highest among all of them, and that is why I started looking into XDTE last year, but I wanted to give it a shot until March of this year, because March is a month when their options will be rolled again, and we will have some idea with 1 year of history of how it's gonna perform over next year or so. And then if you go to a price return, because most of the time as an investor in covered call ETF, you're not gonna be depending on it for dividends to reinvest. Basically, if you are reinvesting your dividends, I would suggest a better option for you would be to invest in something like SPY or any index ETFs if you are not taking income out of your account. But in case you want to, and that should be the case of retirement or early, have some passive income coming in, in that case, covered call ETFs are the way to go if you are taking out the dividends out. So in such case, when you are taking dividends out, then the metric here will be price return, and you see a complete contradiction here. SPY is leading, of course, with 7% return. Then we see iSpy and TSpy following with 2.85% at number second. Then number third is SPY and XDTE with negative 4.28%, meaning people who say that there is no NAV erosion for round hills ETFs like XATE and QDTE. That's not true. XDTE and QDTE are the most, ETF that are gonna be impacted the most. So that's why you see the price return in negative for XDTE. As an investor, personally, I try to invest in ETFs that keep the NAV stable, or at least have a little bit of appreciation if I keep reinvesting dividends. So in that case, the price with the total return, as we saw, XVTE was good. But if you are not eating, or if you are not reinvesting dividends, then XDTE is not for you. Basically, if you are taking dividends out, you are gonna see impact in your net asset value for XDTE. Moving on, the grades here, XDTE and T-SPY, since it's not been a year for both of these, so they have not been graded in Seeking Alpha. And just an FYI, this tool that I'm using is called Seeking Alpha. I have an affiliate link with them, which will support this channel, but will not cost you anything. In fact, you will get $30 off of your first year premium if you sign up using my link for Seeking Alpha premium account. I'm using the Seeking Alpha premium as well, what you see here. Then moving on to trading, you see different prices for all these ETFs and then the dividends. So if you are eating these dividends, then by all means go for it. You invest in these ETFs, make 1% or so. So if you are living in the retirement, or you are planning to retire early with these dividend ETFs, then you'll be eating these dividends. So make sure that you invest in something stable that is not eating. Basically, you invest $1, you get paid 20 cents in dividends. But if the net asset value dropped to 50 cents, then basically you lost a lot of money, right? So that's what's happening with XDTE here. So make sure to do that. But in any other case, we see iSpy and SPYI provide close to 12%, meaning 1% every month return. That should be sufficient for you if the NAV holds up. If the price return is just little less than SPY, then you should be good with that. So T-SPY, iSpy, and SPYI are all good options there. But if you want a higher yield, then XDTE is your best bet. Then the performance, here you can compare performance as well with 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and year-to-date performance. Year-to-date, all of them are in green, which is good to see. But for all other, you see some reds in the overall performance. So 3 months, if you see here, XVT has been impacted the most with the drawdown, whereas the JEPI has performed the best in the covered call ETFs. So liquidity, as we said, JEPI has the most asset under management. So it's close to $38 billion. That's billion with the B, because you see here 13 million and 329 million and 38 billion is a lot of cash that they have. JP Morgan has under their management. They don't list their shares outstanding, but the share price is all there. Out there, you can look that share price. This is the share price at the end of day 17th of year 2025. So that's there. And then concentration and risk. If you are interested in following SPY, then if you see here, 510 holdings, SPY has 504. So SPYI and iSpy pretty much hold the same equities as SPY. And then technical, if you are a trader, then I hope you are not trading these covered call ETFs on daily basis, because that's not they are built for. But overall, if you ask me, there are two options. So if I'm looking for eating from my returns or from my dividends, then I would go with the XDTE. As I showed you, the dividend yield is extremely high, 22%. But if I'm reinvesting dividend yield and I'm not taking money home, then something more stable, something like JEPI or T-SPY or iSpy would be the best bet, because they perform nicer as compared to XVTE, even if you are taking your dividends out. So JEPI, iSpy, SPY-I, and T-SPY are all good options if you are eating from them, if you are taking the dividends out to live off of them. So that's my take. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys will like this video. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Till then, take care of yourself and people around you. Goodbye.